Hello and welcome to the home of the Ghost Owl, and today we're going to be continuing now our faction focus series for Warhammer The Old World, looking at the Lizardmen. So as a reminder about what these series are all about, it's about looking at 8th edition, or the last army book that was released for a faction back in Warhammer Fantasy Battle, seeing the unit, seeing what rules they had, seeing how they played, to give us a hint of how they might play, albeit with special rules and different rules in Warhammer The Old World. So, for example, if you've got a heavy durable infantry unit, it's likely to be a heavy durable infantry unit in the Old World, but with slightly different rules. So, without further ado, let's jump into our Lizardmen Lords. So, Lizardmen overall, quite a small-ish roster of basic units, though quite a few legendary characters as well. We're starting off with the Slann Mage Priest, and you can see here the top, that is the original model, but you can see down in the bottom right corner here, you can see this is the current new version that was released for Age of Sigmar. Now, Lizardmen are not going to be a core faction for Warhammer The Old World, but I have to say, those of you interested in Lizardmen armies, that's not going to be a problem. They've had a massive range refresh as part of Warhammer The Old World. A lot of units for the Lizardmen are available from Age of Sigmar. Yes, you will have to change the bases. Yes, they're not all suitable, but here you can see a really good example of the Slann, absolutely usable in Warhammer The Old World with a base change. And a really, really nice model to boot. A lot of the Lizardmen, I have to say, I really do like their new versions of their models, and say that Slann there, very, very nice indeed. So, stats-wise, they've got a lot of wounds and good leadership, but low weapon skill, strength, initiative, and attack, so you don't really want these guys fighting. Equipment-wise, they come with a hand weapon, and they may take up to 4 disciplines of the old ones, up to 150 points. They are a level 4 wizard, and they can use either the Law of High Magic or one of the 8 laws of battle magic, and they can also be a battle standard bearer for the cost of 25 points. Special rules wise, they get cold-blooded. This is a Lizardman sort of army-wide rule. Essentially, they roll 3d6 for the leadership test and discard the highest result, so that's pretty nice. They have the Mage Priest Palanquin, which essentially you re-roll failed dangerous terrain tests because it's kind of floating. And while they have the infantry type keyword, they're never considered to be on foot for the purpose of spells, magic items, or special rules. They also have Shield of the Old Ones, so every Slann comes with a 4+ ward save. That's quite nice, but 4+, as we know, it can be swingy. And then you've got Telepathic Confabulation. So before rolling for Strength of Winds of Magic, 2 wizards with this spell may exchange 1 spell with each other. That's quite nice. So, that Slann Mage Priests are expensive in points. They get 300 points base, but they do start as a level 4. So if you're looking at others, where you see them at 200, 230 points, they're level 3, they'll have to pay for that level 4. So Slann start as a level 4, and they can only be a level 4. But 300 points, it's an investment. I always had at least 1 in my army list, and they're pretty flexible. They've got a wide choice of magic laws to suit how you want to play your army. And while 2 Slann would be nice, generally I prefer to take a single Slann, fully equip him with good magic items and his disciplines of the old ones, and then take supporting heroes. So that was normally how I would run it. But Slann, pretty popular, great casters, and I saw them in most army lists, to be honest. So, there is only one other Lord type for the Lizardman, and that is the Saurus Oldblood. Now, at the top there, you can see the original Saurus Oldblood on foot, but on the right-hand side, you can see a Saurus Oldblood mounted on Carnosaur, and that model is still available to buy today as part of the Age of Sigmar Seraphon range, so no problems there. Right, stats-wise, high weapon skill strength, toughness, attacks, and leadership boosted on top of that. Can be a mount, but of course he can be on foot. This is your combat lord. Low ballistic skill, not a great number of wounds, I have to say, for such a combat lord in the Lizardman army, and in low initiative, which is a common theme across the entire faction. Equipment wise, he comes with a hand weapon, but he can take an additional hand weapon, a halberd, a spear, a great weapon, light armor, and shield. You'll notice, he can only take light armor. Well, that's because lizardmen in most cases get scaly skin, so that's added to it. So he can be mounted on either a Cold One or a Carnosaur. The Carnosaur does look pretty cool. Special rules, he's got the cold-blooded again, scaly skin 4+, and also predatory fighter, which is a common rule for Saurus units, which basically in 6s to hit in close combat, generate an additional attack, and can only test to restrain pursuit if a skink character is within 6 inches. So, look, while the character mounted on a Carnosaur looks great, it does become very expensive when paired with a Slann. The Old Blood on Carnosaur's 360 points, plus upgrades on top of that. So, overall, I preferred the Slann and a couple of Scar Vets combination. The Scar Veterans are only 80 points. They're the combat heroes, essentially, and they still make good leaders. They only lose 1 weapon skill, wound, and attack, but they do have the same leadership and equipment, and also mount options if you want it. So, for me personally, that's generally how I ran mine now. Some people did like to take the Old Blood on Carnosaur. It did look pretty cool on the tabletop, but I think you're really starting to gimp yourself by taking that and a Slann. So for me, it's either you take the Old Blood on Carnosaur and then take some skink priests for supporting magic, or you do what I did, which was take the Slann and then a couple of Scar Veterans, which is preferred. But both ways can work. With how powerful magic was in 8th edition, definitely having the Slann was important. Remains to be seen how it's going to work in Warhammer The Old World, how valuable the magic is going to be versus having these combat characters. We've already seen how to build the army, so we know we get up to 1,000 points of a 2,000 point army in characters, but I'm not sure I'd want to be spending, if the points are the same or similar, 700 plus points, 800 points on 2 lords. And we'll see actually how their general army list looks as well. But Slann, I think, they are key to a Lizardman faction. That magic is key to ensuring that those combat units do their job and do it the best they can. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. That is it for the Lizardmen Lords. Not huge amounts of choice there. Hope you've enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. Let me know why in the comments down below. And as always, if you want to see more of these videos, faction focus videos, then please hit that subscribe button. It's free for you to do, but it means an absolutely massive deal for me. So thank you for that in advance. You've been watching The Ghost Hour. Tune back in where we take a look at the Lizardman heroes.